Of all the places we could have crossed paths, it had to be here. Either fate has a flair for drama, or someone wanted a front row seat.
Fate or not, I've been tracking your work for months. The precision, the ritual, the careful selection of victims. It's almost admirable if it weren't completely wrong. You kill people who deserve punishment, but you've appointed yourself judge, jury, and executioner. How is that different from the criminals you hunt?
The difference is I only kill those who kill others. My victims are murderers who've escaped justice, who would continue hurting people if left alive. You beat criminals senseless and hand them to a system that often fails. How many of the people you've saved have killed again after walking free on technicalities?
Some probably. But the moment we decide who deserves to live or die, we become the very thing we're fighting against. The law exists for a reason. Imperfect as it is, it's better than vigilante execution. Your code may seem principled, but it's still murder dressed up as justice. Don't you see the contradiction in killing people for killing people?
The contradiction would exist if I felt anything about it. But I don't. No guilt, no satisfaction, just necessity. My victims chose their path when they took innocent lives. I'm simply completing the equation they started. But I'm curious about your restraint. When you have someone like the Kingpin at your mercy, knowing he'll hurt more people, what stops you from finishing it permanently?
Faith. Faith that there's something redeemable in every person, even monsters like Fisk. Faith that the system can work if good people keep fighting for it. Your approach assumes people can't change, can't find redemption. What if you're wrong? What if one of your victims could have been saved, could have stopped killing, and found another path?
What if? Ideal uncertainties, not possibilities. My victims have already proven what they are through their actions. Multiple murders, patterns of behavior, complete lack of remorse. These aren't people having bad days, they're predators. Your faith is admirable, but how many innocent people die while you're giving killers chances to redeem themselves?
Every innocent death weighs on me, but taking lives weighs heavier. There's something about your methodology that troubles me beyond the killing, the ritual, the preparation, the almost clinical detachment. Do you enjoy it? Is there some part of you that gets satisfaction from the hunt, the control, the moment of killing?
Enjoyment implies emotion I don't possess. It's more like fulfillment, the satisfaction of completing a necessary task correctly. But your question reveals something interesting about you. You fight with passion, anger, even rage sometimes. Doesn't that passion make you want to cross the line? When you hear a child crying because of what some monster did, don't you want permanent solutions?
Of course I do. The anger burns through me every time I see what evil people do to innocents. That's exactly why I can't cross that line, because I know how easy it would be, how much I'd want to keep crossing it. Your detachment might actually be more dangerous than my anger. At least anger can be reasoned with, controlled. Can your compulsion?
Compulsion is controllable when properly channeled. Harry taught me that. My adoptive father, a cop who recognized what I was and gave me rules to follow. Without the code, I'd be killing randomly instead of selectively. Your mentor's stick taught you discipline too, but his methods were brutal. Don't you think there's irony in a blind man teaching you to see justice more clearly than those with sight?
Stick taught me that suffering can be transformed into purpose, that blindness doesn't mean inability to see what matters. But he also taught me that vengeance isn't justice. It's just pain passed on to others. Your Harry created a killer with rules instead of helping you find healing. What do you think your life would have been like if he'd tried to cure you instead of enabling you?
Cure me? There's nothing to cure. This is what I am. Harry understood that some people are born different, born with needs that society doesn't acknowledge. He gave me direction instead of delusion. Your work with Nelson and Murdoch, helping people through legal channels, that's admirable. But how do you reconcile being a lawyer by day and a vigilant by night? Isn't that its own form of contradiction?
Every day, I struggle with that contradiction constantly. But law and justice aren't always the same thing. And sometimes justice requires action the law can't take. The difference is I'm trying to build something better, to fix the system from multiple angles. You've given up on the system entirely and appointed yourself its replacement. How many innocent people might you have saved if you'd used your skills to strengthen justice instead of replacing it?
I am justice. Pure, efficient, permanent, no appeals, no parole, no chance for repeat offenses. The Trinity Killer murdered entire families for decades before I stopped him. Arthur Mitchell would have continued killing forever if left to your system. How do you justify letting monsters live when you know they'll kill again?
Because the moment we decide someone is beyond redemption, we lose something essential about our own humanity. You mentioned Trinity. That case made headlines. But your involvement wasn't officially recognized, was it? You operate in shadows, take credit for nothing, help no one understand how these killers were stopped. How does secret justice serve society if society can't learn from it?
Society doesn't need to learn from it. They need to be protected from it. My work eliminates threats quietly, efficiently, without traumatizing communities with trials and media circuses. Your approach puts victims through years of legal proceedings, forces them to relive their trauma repeatedly. Which method actually serves the people who've been hurt?
Legal proceedings give families closure, acknowledgement that their loss mattered to society. Secret executions give them nothing but continued questions, though I'll admit, there's something appealing about your efficiency. No corrupt lawyers, no bought judges, no technicalities, just direct action against those who deserve it. But what happens when your judgment is wrong?
My judgment isn't wrong because I don't act on assumptions. I research extensively, confirm guilt absolutely, ensure my targets have killed multiple times and will kill again. Your judgment, however, relies on faith in human nature that evidence doesn't support. We both know evil exists. The question is whether we face it realistically or hopefully.
Hope isn't naive when it's paired with action. I've seen people change, seen criminals find redemption, seen broken systems repair themselves when good people refuse to give up. Your realism protects you from disappointment, but also prevents you from seeing possibilities beyond punishment. Maybe we're both necessary. You're certainly in my hope, your finality, and my persistence.
Necessary opposites. You fix what can be fixed, I eliminate what can't. You give the system chances to work, I clean up when it fails. Neither approach is complete alone, but together they might actually protect innocent people effectively. Though I wonder if your faith in humanity would survive seeing what I see in my victims' minds.
And I wonder if your certainty about human nature would survive seeing the moments of grace I've witnessed in the darkest people. But perhaps that's the point. We see different aspects of the same truth. Evil exists, but so does redemption. Justice requires both acknowledgement of darkness and faith in light.
Darkness and light, predator and protector, finality and hope. We're both trying to make the world safer for innocent people, just through radically different methods.
Maybe it does, though I'll keep hoping there's a better way than either of ours. One that protects innocence without requiring us to become something we're not sure we should be.